We can now bring in our foreign affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, good to see you. Donald Trump has gone after news outlets in the past since his return to the White House. Now he's banned this Wall Street Journal reporter from traveling with him. He's also sued CBS. It's part of a broader strategy to sort of shape the narrative and silence the press.
Yes, it is, Delano, and it goes back to since his return to the White House. He did this in his first term, and let's be honest, his animus, his love-hate relationship with news outlets, with media organizations, really goes back all the way to his days, as a real estate developer in New York City. Look, one of the questions is right now, Donald Trump appears to be on course to maybe outdo Richard Nixon. I'm going back over half a century, right? In his hostility towards and crackdown on the U.S. press, the free press, and the protections of journalists with regard to the First Amendment. Whether it is defamation lawsuits or perceived defamation lawsuits, whether it's lawsuits against organizations whose coverage of him, Donald Trump, he doesn't like, unfavorable, perhaps too probing, too investigative coverage. If he doesn't like it, you are a target. The climate in U.S. news organizations, if not stifling at this point, because there remain many independent news organizations, it is becoming more and more suffocating, more and more claustrophobic by the day. What we have seen since he's come back to office, you asked me about the WSJ being the latest, suing it for $10 billion, including Rupert Murdoch, the owner, for the story the recently published story about Donald Trump's ties with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who killed himself in jail or was found dead in jail in 2019. All of this, when he came into office, he's since then all but dismantled or tried to dismantle Voice of America. He has, with his minions in Congress, that is the people who do his bidding in Congress, the lawmakers in the Republican Party, have basically revoked public funding from public broadcasters, the Public Broadcasting Corporation, to the tune of over $1 billion. He has sued ABC News in a defamation lawsuit. They settled with him. He sued CBS News, its owner, Paramount, which is in a merger process with Skydance right now, billions and billions of dollars. Its owner settled with Trump for millions and millions of dollars. So this is part of a pattern. Trump going after these media organizations. Is it coincidental that it comes at a time when the the conversation has been about Epstein and whether or not Trump is covering something up, and why is he lashed out at his supporters for wanting to see more evidence and wanting to see those files disclosed? He wants to change the conversation. That's at least what his critics say, and not even his critics. People even who support Donald Trump say that he seems to be wanting to change the subject. These are shiny objects. They're not necessarily new objects, holding up the press, using the Wall Street Journal as his latest punching bag, a big lawsuit, banning its reporters from the traveling press pool during his trip coming up to Scotland. All of these are things that he knows it is a win-win for Donald Trump. When you bash the media, MAGA generally does not have too much of a liking for journalists. It is a very safe bet that if you go after the media, you're going to get your supporters, your MAGA supporters, on side. They share a common hated enemy, a common foe in the media. So this is a win-win, like I said.
Doug, thank you very much for that, Douglas Herbert.